manage the book. The situation is very worse, but still. Okay. So basically, see, you know two things. That inflation is basically when your prices get increased, right? So when we bring the situation on inflation, when there is excess demand. For example, lots of people were demanding. Okay, lots of people were demanding. There was high demand, excess demand. So at that moment, what I thought I'll bring inflation so that I'll increase the price. So once I'll increase the price, definitely few people will say, no, we don't want to. Why? Because the prices are really high, right? So basically, excess demand is inflation. Okay, so when there is excess demand, only then the situation of inflation comes. Okay, but when there is no demand, like when there is deficit demand, then the situation of deflation comes. Okay, so basically what happened, as I told you, what is bank rate? Bank rate is basically, this is a minimum amount, minimum rate at which central banks give loans to commercial bank. Okay, for long period of time, yeah, for their long term needs. Okay, now when there is an inflation, what happened? Bank rate also increase. Okay, bank rate also increase. For example, earlier I was giving you loan for example, yeah. So for example, earlier for 100 rupees, I was giving you, your interest rate was 10%. Okay, but as I saw that lots of people were demanding, so what I will do, I will increase the rate, right? So now I said, okay, now the interest rate is 20%. Okay, clear? So earlier what was happening? Earlier for 100 rupees, I was taking 10% interest. Okay, but when I saw that there is very high demand, lots of people were demanding, so I said no, I'll increase the rate, which is 20%. Okay, so what I did, I increased the bank rate. Okay, so now what will happen basically? Once bank rate will be increased, so what will happen? Which further increase the rate of interest. Okay, bank rate increase, rate of interest will be increased. Okay, which further increase the rate of interest. Okay, till here you will be writing. Then it makes the credit costlier. Credit means loan. Earlier taking loan was very cheap. At 10% rate you can take loan, but now it is costlier because you have to pay 20% of interest for taking loan. So now what happened? Your credit is costlier. Because of this, because I increased, this is a whole story. I increased bank rate, because of that interest rate increase, and because of that your credit become costlier, like taking loans become costlier. Okay, and what happened? Demand for credit reduced. Matlab now, earlier 10 people were demanding that we want loan, we want loan, we want loan, but now as I increase the rate, demand for the credit also decreased. Now only 2 people came to me that ma'am, I want loan. Okay, because I increased the rate, right? Now what will happen? Less money will go to the economy. Okay, because of that, less money will go to the economy. Purchasing power is curtailed or purchasing power is decreased, and aggregate demand and excess demand will be correct. Okay, now okay, I hope my screen is visible.
It's a white screen, I can see it.
Yeah, white screen. Okay, now basically what happened earlier, this was the rate. Okay, see, whenever you will be going for the loan, of course you have to pay some interest rate, right? This one you know. So bank rate is basically it is the rate at which central bank gives loans to the commercial bank. Okay, central banks are giving loans to the commercial bank. Basically it was like that. So basically what happened earlier, for 100 rupees, if you want to take loan for 100 rupees, the interest rate was 10%. So when it was 10%, for example, 8 students are there in my batch. Okay, so 8 of them came to me that ma'am, I want loan, I want loan, I want loan. Okay, so I gave loan to them. So now I gave 100 rupees to each. So now they have 800 rupees. Okay, they went to market, they went to a shop and they demanded 8 pizza. Okay, and they demanded very high. Similarly, what happened? What I said, now I increase the interest rate. Now I said you have to pay 20% loan, 20% interest rate. So what happened? Earlier 8 people were there, but now only 3 people came to me that ma'am, we want loan. Why? Because I increased the rate. Earlier there was 8 people, but now only 3 people came to me. Now they have 300 rupees, right? Of course they have. Of course they earlier they had 800 rupees. Now there is increase because the credit become costlier. Now they had less money in the economy. There was high money, but now less money. Earlier it was 800, now it is only 300. So of course less money in the economy. And because of that, earlier they had the power to purchase 8 pizza, but now they have only power to purchase 3 pizza, right? Because they have only 300 rupees. So what is happening? Their purchasing power is getting decreased. Earlier they had the power that they had 800 rupees, they went to shop that I want 8 pizza. They had the good purchasing power, but why? Because I increased the rate. Now their purchasing power is decreased. So what earlier they were demanding 8 pizza, their demand was very high, but now their demand will be decreased. Earlier they were demanding 8, now they will be demanding 3. So their demand will be decreased. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, so what happened? I increased the rate. Because of that, credit become costlier. So less people demanded for this credit, and their purchasing power decreased because because the credit become costlier, and because of that, excess demand decrease. Okay, I hope this is clear.
Clear.
Okay, now we will move to this slide again. Now see, this is the story which is ongoing right now. So you just have to focus on the story, and whatever story you are studying over here, it will be same with all the things. Okay, now let's just start. Excess demand. So what happened? I increased bank rate. Okay, because of this, the rate of interest increased, right? Bank rate, because of this, rate of interest increased, and because of that, credit become costlier. Taking loans become costlier. Okay, and demand of credit reduced. Earlier, 8 people were demanding for pizza, but now 3 people are demanding. So demand for credit reduced. Okay, less money was there in the economy. Earlier, you had 800 rupees. Now you have only 300 rupees. So less money in the economy, and because of that, your purchasing power is curtailed, or you can say purchasing power decreased. Okay, you can write decrease, and because of that, aggregate demand fall, and excess demand is corrected. Okay, because earlier 8 people were demanding, we want pizza, but now only 3 people are demanding. So aggregate demand fall. Why aggregate? Because 8 people are demanding, so it is an aggregate, right? And now 3 people are demanding, so aggregate demand fall. And earlier there was lots of people who were demanding, but now excess demand is corrected. Now only few people are demanding. So there was a problem of excess demand, but now few people are demanding. So therefore, the problem of excess demand is corrected. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, this whole story is clear.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now moving to deflation. These are whatever you are writing over here, it will be opposite. Okay, deflation means nobody is purchasing, nobody is demanding. So what I will do, I will decrease the bank rate. Because of that, rate of interest will be decreased, and now here credit was becoming costlier, but now here credit will become cheaper. Okay, and demand for credit will increase. Here demand was decreasing, but now credit is cheaper, so everyone will come to me na that ma'am, I want. So your demand, DD means demand for credit increases. Now more money will flow in the system, purchasing power will increase, and aggregate demand will rise, and the problem of deficit demand is correct. Okay, so I'm just again telling you this is the opposite thing. Okay, see, this is the scenario. Okay, so this is the scenario. Now what I said, because there was nobody is demanding. For example, nobody is demanding. So what I said earlier, I was giving you loan for 10%. Just a minute, I'll clear this drawing. Okay, now I was giving you loan for 10%. Okay, but now nobody is demanding. There is deficit demand. So no, at that moment, so what I said, okay, now what I will do, I'll just decrease the interest rate. Now everyone will pay like for 5%, I'll be giving you the loan. Over here, only 3 people were coming. Okay, for taking loan, and you had 300 rupees, you were only demanding 3 paisa. Okay, but when I said I'll be giving you loan for the 5%, then what happened? Suddenly 10 people came. Okay, why? Because of course, whenever there is a cheap thing, everyone at cheap value attract people. So they came to me, ma'am, I want loan, I want loan, I want loan. So now I gave 10 people loan. So now you have 1,000 rupees. Okay, so now you have 1,000 rupees. You will go and you will demand 10 pizza. Earlier you were demanding 3 pizza. Now you will be demanding 10 pizza. Your purchasing power is increased. So what I see, inflation, everything will be increased, and because of that, because I'll be increasing the rate, I'll be increasing the prices. So of course you will be demanding less. Everything will be decreased, right? But over inflation, you will be decreasing the price. You will be decreasing the rate. Because of that, everything will be increased. Like people will be increased, your purchasing power will be increased, your credit will be cheaper, and your money will be there more in the economy, and your demand, like the problem of deficit demand, will be solved. Clear?
Clear.
Okay, great. Just a minute. Okay, so you will be writing this down. I hope these 2 points are clear. You can remember it, right?
Yes, it's easy.
Yeah, good. So this is basically the story. If you are able to understand the story, you can write everything. You can remember it. Okay, but don't miss any of the point. Okay. See, it's Harima, it's your choice. If you want to write in paragraph form, you can write in paragraph form, or you can write like first statement, then second, then third, then fourth, like this. It's your choice. Whatever you feel like it easy for you to remember, you can do that. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, in the deflation paragraph, second line DD, what's that?
Yes, Alima, you were saying something? Halima, you are muted.
Oh, sorry. That the second line in deflation part DD, that's demand for credit.
Yeah, demand for credit.
That which demand?
This is like aggregate demand you can write. But it is over here, you just have to write demand. Over here, it was mentioned demand for credit reduce. Over here, you will write demand for credit increase.
Okay, only demand.
Yeah, only demand. Over here, you will be writing aggregate demand. Okay?
Okay, no short forms.
Yeah, no short forms.
Okay.
You are done?
Yes, I'll make the change and done.
Okay.
Done.
Okay. Now everything is very similar. Okay, you just have to repeat everything. Okay. Now repo rate.
Okay.
Repo rate is basically when commercial banks give similarly when central bank give loans to commercial bank, but for short period of time, right? So again, in inflation, what happened? You will increase repo rate. Okay, and because of this, what will happen? Basically, just a minute. What you will write? You will write increase in inflation. What we do? We increase repo rate. Okay, and when repo rate is increased, okay, banks are forced to rise their lending rates. It makes credit costlier. Demand for credit reduces. Less money goes to economy. Purchasing power is curtailed, or you can write decrease. Aggregate demand falls. Basically, what you will write? See, you will write when repo rate is increased, it makes credit costlier. Okay, so you don't have to write these things. Your bank are forced to rise their lending rates. No. Okay, when repo rate is increased, everything similar, whatever we studied in the previous one. Repo rate increase, credit is costlier, demand for credit reduces, less money goes to economy, purchasing power is curtailed, AT falls, and excess demand is credit. Okay, corrected. Clear? Everything is same. Okay.
Clear.
Now deflation, repo rate is reduced, it decreases the rate of interest. Okay, and demand deposit for credit. See over here, when you will write now, when repo rate is increased, you will write that line that it increases the rate of interest. Okay, instead of this, you will write it increases the rate of interest. Instead of this, you will write that line. Okay.
In inflation part.
Yeah, in inflation, instead of this line, na, you will write that. See, whatever you wrote in the previous line, you just have to copy it, paste.
Okay, got
Okay,
it.
because see, both the things are same now, but the only duration is different. So situation is almost same. Almost means 99% is same. Okay, but the only difference is short term and the long term. So you can copy it, paste whatever you write in the previous one. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, write it down and let me know.
Same for deflation.
Yeah, same to same.
Finish.
Okay. Okay. Now we will move to reverse repo rate. So reverse repo rate is basically, it is opposite, right? When commercial bank gives loans to central bank, it is known as reverse repo rate. Okay. So now inflation. What happened when there is inflation? So what commercial bank do? Commercial bank, see, inflation means excess demand. So when I will say that there are lots of people who are demanding, so what I will do, I will increase the prices. Okay. So similarly, they don't have price, but they have the rate, interest rate. So what they do, they increase the repo rate. Okay. So what happened basically, you have to write this thing that you will write like this: inflation, repo rate is increased. Okay. So in inflation, repo rate is increased. Okay. So basically, this has a negative effect on the lending capacity of commercial bank. Okay. Just a minute. Huh? There's a slight bit difference. Okay. You have to mention this line that this has a negative effect on lending capacity of the commercial bank. That means I am giving you loans, but that will be a negative effect. Why? Because see, everybody wants to give loan, right? But if I'll increase my rate, that will be negative for me, na? That nobody will come to me and nobody will take loan. Why? Because I've increased the rate. So this has the negative effect on lending capacity of commercial bank. Because of this, demand for credit reduces, less money goes to economy, AD falls, and excess demand is correct. Okay. So what happened when I'll just increase the rate? So what will happen? The rate will be increased. It will be negative impact and demand for credit reduce. Less money will go to the economy and AD falls and excess demand is correct. Okay. And deflation, when repo rate is reduced, so what you will write over here? You will be writing repo rate lowering repo rate has positive effect in the lending capacity of the commercial bank. Why? Because see, I'm a seller. If I increase my prices, it will be negative thing for me. Why? Because nobody will come to me. Right. But if I decrease the prices, then it will be positive thing for me. Why? Because everyone will come to me and they'll purchase. So similarly, lowering repo rate has positive effect on the lending capacity of commercial bank, which rises the demand of borrowing for the commercial bank. More money flows to, instead of writing which rises demand for borrowing, you can write, instead of writing this, what you can write demand for credit increases. Okay. Clear? Just don't write this.
Clear.
Just write demand for credit increases. With like this, more money flows to the system, purchasing power increases, AD rises, and deficit demand is correct. Okay. I'm just explaining it again because little bit changes there. In inflation, repo rate is increased. So this has a negative effect on the lending capacity of commercial bank. Because of this, demand for credit reduces, less money goes to economy, AD fall, and excess demand is correct. Okay. But for deflation, what you will be writing, that when there is deflation, repo rate is reduced. Okay. And because when repo rate is decreased, it has positive effect on the lending capacity of commercial bank. Because of this, you will not write these things. You will write demand for credit increases. Okay. So I'm just mentioning it. Demand for credit increases. Okay, so you will be writing demand for credit increases, more money flows to the system, purchasing power increases, and AD rises, and deficit demand is okay. And over here, you can even less money goes to economy. You will write over here purchasing power line. Okay, purchasing power is decreased. Okay, and AD falls like this. Okay.
Okay.
Everything is same, but you just have to mention this line: negative effect and the positive effect. That's it, and everything is same. Okay.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, hi Halima. So sorry, actually I lost my networks. So
It's okay, ma'am. Finish here.
okay, great. Just a minute. I'm just sharing my screen.
Okay.
Is it visible, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So now we will be quickly moving to next thing, which is open market operations. Okay. So open market operation, basically it means selling and purchasing of government securities. And who do this? Central bank do this. Okay. So when see, for example, there is excess demand. Okay. Lots of people are demanding. So at that moment, what you will do, Halima? You will sell your thing or you will purchase.
Sell.
Why? Because lots of people are demanding. So you can sell them because people will be purchasing it. Right?
Yes.
So excess demand, when there is excess demand, government securities are sold by the government bank in the open market. Okay. So what happened? For example, I am selling you anything. You have 100 rupees, right? And I sold you something that Halima, I have this pencil box. Please purchase it. Okay, I was selling my purchase. I was selling my pencil box. You you purchased my pencil box and you gave me your money, right? You gave me all your 100 rupees, right? So basically, what was happening earlier? You had 100 rupees. Your purchasing powers was 100. You can purchase anything, but now your money is with me, right? So what I did, I withdrawed your additional purchasing power. Whatever purchasing power you have, I took it from you. Why? Because now your money is with me. Okay. So basically, the central bank withdraws additional purchasing power. Once you will purchase my product, your money will be with me, and my product will be with you. So basically, you don't have any purchasing power right now. Why? Because you already gave all your money to me, right? So there will be contraction in credit. Okay, so now earlier you had 100 rupees, but now you have 0 rupees. So earlier 100, now 0. So basically there is a decrease in credit. Less money is with you. Your purchasing power will be reduced and aggregate demand will fall and excess demand will be controlled. Okay. And now when there is deficit demand, nobody is demanding. At that time, I'll purchase. Okay. I'll purchase because nobody is demanding. So I'll purchase. So by purchasing the government security, central bank inject additional purchasing power. See, nobody was demanding. So I came to you, Halima, I want to, do you have any pencil box with you? I want to purchase it. So yes, you said, yes, ma'am, I have a pencil box with me. Just take it. So what I said, I gave you 100 rupees. Okay. In return of your pencil box, I gave you 100 rupees. So what I was doing, I was injecting purchasing power. Okay. I was injecting the purchasing power to you because now you can purchase anything because you have 100 rupees with you. Right. So over here, I was taking your purchasing power, but over here, I am injecting the purchasing power. Injection, whenever you get injection, that means all the vitamins and minerals are going in your body, right? So similarly, injecting additional purchasing power in the system, because of which credit will be increased. Okay, here credit was decreased, but here credit is increased. More money supply will flow in the system, purchasing power in the economy increase, and aggregate demand will rise, and deficit demand is correct. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. But the only thing which you have to remember here, you are selling it, and because of that, your additional purchasing power is withdrawing. But here, additional purchasing power is being given to you, injecting. Okay, and the whole process is same. That more money supply, purchasing power increase, aggregate demand rise, and deficit demand is correct. Okay, so you can write it down.
Ma'am, what are government securities that central bank can sell and purchase?
Yeah, basically, okay. Now I was just about to tell you government securities. Government securities are basically, for example, you are taking loan from me. Okay. So for example, I earlier also told you that, for example, you are taking loan of 100 rupees. Okay. For that 100 rupees, you will be keeping something with me, right? Maybe your house property, maybe your car paper, anything. Okay. But in some case, what happened? For example, you were unable to pay loan, unable to repay loan. So at that moment, what you said, I cannot pay the loan. You can keep my house papers. You can keep my property papers. You can keep my this uh, car paper, something like that. So these are the securities basically, right? So what bank will be doing of the car paper? What bank will be doing of this low property paper? Nothing now. So they will be selling or purchasing it, right? So this is the securities. Okay.
Got it.
Okay. I'll be explaining this in more detail, like in the end of this chapter. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Just give me 1 minute. Huh? Halima, done?
Yes, done.
Great. So